Yo, ladies and gentlemen, it's Beats One, it's Apple Music. My bro Vic Mensa back on the program. What's happening, bro?
What's up, broski?
Oh, look, man, we ready for Hooligans, the EP. We about to drop it, but we got some premieres.
Yeah.
Why this EP? Why 8 songs? Why now? What's going on?
So I made this record in conjunction with a couple of other records that I'm releasing in subsequent fashion.
Subsequent fashion. This guy's growing up in front of our eyes, man. He got, you know, you're a big time artist when you have subsequent fashions.
I do got subsequent fashions, though.
Exactly.
I ain't gonna hold you. This is all South Korea, my whole subsequent fashion right now. I bought all this neighborhood in South Korea. I got my line of 93 punks, you know what I'm saying?
What's 93 punks?
93 punks, that's you know all those leather jackets that I wear that are all customized and with all the patches and painting? That's 93 punks. So that's a line I'm doing. That's gonna be releasing with a project that's like a punk project, another EP basically that I did.
Is that part of the subsequent fashion?
Subsequent fashions, you know what I'm saying?
Got it.
Hooligans, it was like, I had these different energies, just rap songs I had made, not particularly for a project throughout the year. And I also was making this punk music, you know? And as I came to have these two different separate entities, I was like, okay, let me not try to just mash all these together and, you know, have to compromise being able to go all the way. You know what I mean? So I took the records that were more in a rap space and made this project out of them, and the punk records are gonna be on that album.
Travis Barker's on here.
Well, Travis Barker is working with me on the punk album. Travis is like gonna be executive producing it, hopefully. We've been talking about it. You know what I'm saying?
You might get him to play on a couple of dates. That would be big.
I mean, that'd be crazy.
You got Mr. Hudson on here. He's known to make some alternative sounds.
Mr. Hudson is the god body, though. You know, that's why they call me Mr. Oh, man, you know, just like really behind the scenes a little bit these days.
He's cooked up a lot of things.
He's just been instrumental in a lot of the sound of modern music.
But now you're telling me that after this Hooligans EP, we're going to get a punk project.
Yeah, for a full album, really.
And that's the name of the band.
That's the name of the band. That's the name of the brand, too.
So it's merch, it's music.
Yeah. And it's like I'm kind of creating a whole world between both of these. So Hooligans, the artist that made the cover, his name is Lucas David. And he's like this super dope artist that he's like a rock star artist almost, you know what I'm saying? Because that's his content, and he paints and draws all the rock stars, and he's like super close with Courtney Love and all these other people who he does amazing portraits of. And so I tapped him to do the artwork for Hooligans, and he's also doing the artwork for 93 Punks and been doing like single covers. So I kind of want to make it all, you know, one continuous aesthetic.
And I'm very appreciative of, you know, of what's happening and that you're doing this, because I feel like people play around with it. Travis Scott plays around with the rock star thing. Lil Wayne played around with the rock star thing. The Dipset even with the aesthetic. You know, I'm a rock star. You know, Uzi Vert, when he came out and was switching from his bars to, he was like, oh, I'm a rock star. You know, and I was kind of like, are you going to make rock records? You going to play the guitar? You going to sing? Or you going to rap? Like, I was trying to figure out what everybody sonically was trying to do, because the records just sound like regular trap records or melodic rap records. You're telling me that you're going to take that other step.
I feel that punk, and what punk is not a sound. It's not a delivery. It's not even a style of production, a set of instruments. It's an attitude. But I think what differs the 93 Punks music that is coming out in the spring is that it's also got the voice. On some Dead Kennedys, like the Clash and the Dead Kennedys are my two favorite bands, you know, but I'm also pulling inspiration from places like, you know, obviously Blink. I mean, I got an ill record on there with Joe Madden from Good Charlotte. And different.
You went in.
I had HR from Bad Brains in the studio the other day.
But
one thing I'm on though, with, you know, this 93 music, man, I just try to get sneaky, you know what I'm saying? And I just put my messages and my extremely forward thinking like underneath, like, get on the floor, get in your bag, you know what I mean? Just like kind of ambiguous statements, you know what I'm saying? And that's something I've been having fun with a lot too, is subversion, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like this record is not so much like that, but the punk music is very subversive.
We got some world premieres today. We got the Ty Dolla $ign they said we could play. the Theys said we could play.
Exactly.
G Herbo joint, Chicago heavy, and then Midwest heavy. You know, Charlie Wilson.
I want to play. I want to play "In Some Trouble" with Ty Dolla $ign. Man, that's one of my favorite records.
Tell
on
me
there.
why.
I mean, it just feels good. You know, it's like for a long time, I've made only dark music. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been in so many dark places, and this is a record that like I was having fun, and I do have fun. I just don't usually. I haven't made a lot of fun records for a while. You know what I mean? So I with this because it's like it just feels good every time I play it. Ty Dolla $ign, and I say this as the most ultimate compliment, is definitely our generation's Nate Dogg and more. You know
I was
what I mean?
gonna go a step further. I mean, and that's
But
no disrespect. I love Nate Dogg.
I love Nate Dogg.
But Ty Dolla $ign will also pick up that bass. You know what I'm saying? He'll get on
Word
the drums.
up, I said and more. You know what I mean? But I mean, just in terms of how Nate Dogg always to me was the one artist that every time I heard his voice, it was a solid go. I just absolutely loved it every time I heard Nate Dogg's voice. I can't think of a time I ever heard Nate Dogg on a song where I didn't like his part.
That's real.
The next record that I did want to play is it's called Rowdy, and so that's featuring G Herbo on some Southside shit. And when we made this record, the producer that made it, his name is Franz, him and his homie Blessed.
Yeah.
But we sat down with the intention of like making some violent trap shit that sounded like The Clash. You know what I'm saying? And so we started with the guitars, and he freaked it and turned it into just a, you know, how The Clash has that surfy landscape. You know, with the guitars, and then just made it hard as.
The one that got away. What's this about? Is this about a woman?
Clearly,
Uncle Charlie has to be.
I was leaving. I was cleaning out my closet, literally. You know what I'm saying? It was like I just had left my girl, and we were together for a while, and she was somebody that was like real supportive to me, helped me like get off drugs and all types of shit, you know, but I was just realizing that the way I was moving, you know, I couldn't be right in it, you know what I mean? And I didn't want to keep, you know, lying to myself and lying to her. And so I'm cleaning out the crib, and I heard this Eddie Kendricks sample. It was like, each day I cry a little, each day I die just a little. I was like, yo, that's so ill, you know? Ooh, I had that. So I just looped it up on Ableton and just had it in the crib going all day. And I just was writing this song. And I recorded it and had the homie like re-sing Eddie Kendricks' hook, but with different words, you know, kind of to fit the message. And then it eventually ended up being Charlie Wilson, and, you know, sounds magical.
I would always have these debates with people. They'd be like, hip hop is too mainstream. Hip hop is dead. I was like, hip hop never gonna die, because the core values of it is so disrespectful. You know what I mean? To doing anything conventional.
Nah, you know what's ill? That makes me think, man. I was having this conversation with Hov the other day, and I was actually playing in one of the '93 Punks records.
Yeah.
And like that record is so, its subject matter is like a real incident that happened recently, and it's just so much carnage, and it's so dark that he was like, damn, he was like, you know, because I want to dance to it, but it's hard to knowing what the lyrics are about.
Yeah.
And you know, that I told him, I was like, man, you know, I mean, kind of that's what I meant to do, is make people uncomfortable. And then he started telling me this story about how he had reached out to Banksy when Banksy did that, like the shredder on that painting that sold all crazy. Yeah. You know, because Hov, like, you know, I respect the way that you on these niggas' neck right now, you know, and Banksy like, man, you know, you really let me know I could do it when you had the Louvre ushering you and Beyonce through the museum, and you made Big Pimpin'.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's at its essence, the that we doing is counterculture. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It's always been. It's always been. Not afraid of controversy.
Not afraid of much, honestly.
Your 2018, there was some great records you put out, right? Your autobiography come out 2018? But then, you know, you had your internet dust-ups.
Internet dramas.
Yeah. do you feel like you were being yourself and those things were brought to you, or do you feel like you were just responding to the world around you? Like, how does that register in your mind? Whether it's, you know, you're going to punch academics in the face when you see them, or the XXX Tentacion, or how do you process that in your head, how that happened in your life?
You know, I'm informed by Black Panther ideology, and that's the place I come from. And
shout out to Fred Hampton, Chicago.
Shout out to Fred Hampton Jr. as well. Chairman Fred, yes sir.
Yeah.
Huey's book is called Revolutionary Suicide. And it's called Revolutionary Suicide to be differentiated from reactionary suicide.
Okay.
You know, to destroy yourself based on the actions of another. Whereas revolutionary suicide that's being willing to die for what you believe in. And that's the way I want to be.